Hi, I'm Nancy Diehl. I am the president creator of Love Seas Sterling Silver Jewelry. I'm also the author of the Love Seas gift book. This summer, I started a nonprofit, and it's a 12-step program which I wrote, and it's called Live to Love to Live. Right now, I'm really opening them up to teens. These programs, they're for the recovery of depression and anxiety. I've taken the concept. I'm actually using the structure like a 12-step program, but I've written the steps to actually be more like what my book is, which is about love and our purpose here, and that really our focus in our is to love ourselves, is to learn how to receive love that's for us in the world, and to then give it. So it's really that no matter what's going on in our lives, that if we can grasp the concept that love is why we're here, then doesn't really matter what's going on. And I know this through experience, and I've been through a lot of things which I've shared in other videos. And as I focused on love, it was amazing that I still have a lot of things I'm going through, and I just go through them, and I stay focused every day on love and loving others. People are really surprised that anything that is going on in my life that's difficult, because I don't act like it. Because I mean, I do have some hard times, and I go cry by myself and stuff like that, but I get back up and I keep on going, because I know that my purpose and my destiny is linked to me loving myself and loving others and receiving the love that is for me out there. And that really, it's all love teaches us. And these are some of my phrases from Love Sees: is love accepts, and love creates, and love heals, and love laughs, and love listens, and love teaches, and love protects, and love saves, and love frees, and love hopes. So I live by that, and those came from me. Those are, well, they I after going through such a difficult time riding in my car one night, these phrases came to me. And so they're what I'm sharing with people. And inside all of my boxes of my jewelry, it says, wear this knowing that love sees your destiny and purpose, and that you have the power to give love. And so without making this a really long video, because I already have a really long one, which is on my website, www.live2love2live.org. And I recommend watching it. It's got a lot of great things in it. It's not boring at all. I tell a lot of stories. I have amazing stories. I mean, you people that are like seeking after the supernatural, and you want to go to psychics, and we have this longing to just like want more than what we just see. Try walking in love. Try loving people, and doing things for strangers that's unexpected, and doing it for no reason except that you are made to do that. And then watch what happens, because that's when you see like crazy stuff. You see things in people's faces and in their eyes, and what happens to them when you do something like that, how it completely can change their life. And I've shared so many different stories, and I'll share this one that I just shared in. Well, I can just, this one's kind of simple. It's not a really long one. My daughter lost a friend to suicide, and it was really tragic. And that happened only a year ago. I was already doing all of this, and shortly thereafter, she had another friend that went through a really, really difficult time, and she had no place to go. And so I said to my daughter, "You tell her she can come here." And I had just lost someone really close to me in my family. So I was like, who cares about whatever? Bring her in, put her on, like when those kind of things happen to you, all you value is human life. That's what you value. Nothing else matters. Your inconvenience doesn't matter. And so she came and she slept on a cot in my room. And she's just adorable. And when I first saw her in the kitchen that night when she first came, I talked to her and I hugged her and I told her that she was loved, and I told her that she had a purpose and she had a destiny, and that it was big, and that she just needed to find what that was. And she stayed with me, and I just loved her, and I listened to her. We all did. We all did. My daughters did as well. We love her. And there was a real transformation with her. And by the time that she left after 6 weeks, when she first got there, she thought she was going to have to go into a group home and all these things. She ended up in this wonderful place to live that was near her mother, where she wanted to be. She ended up getting into a college. She got, I think she got 2 jobs. And then when I saw her probably about 6 months later, she said to me, "You saved my life." She's so happy. So you could see the joy in her. And love saved her life. That's what happened. And so I know that it works. I know that love works. And so this summer I had something happen. Another teen that attempted to take her life that I was close to, and miraculously she lived, very miraculously, because she was very determined. And and I'm so grateful that she's still here and she's got a great purpose and a great life. I had a dream about her and I saw her so beautiful, and she told me in the dream, she said, I'm putting this all behind me. And she told me when she was going to go back to school, and that she was putting everything behind her, and she's dressed in this beautiful suit. She looked a bit like when she was younger, when I knew her. And she had her hair cut just to here, and it was just like beautiful curls, and she looked like she had a little Chanel suit on. She looked gorgeous, and she was just so together. And so I called her right away, and she was with her mother, and I said, I need to tell you this dream I had. And I told her the whole thing. And then I told my daughter. My daughter said, do you know, I just saw on Facebook that she just cut her hair like a couple of days ago to look like that. So I knew that, just that made me know that this dream was really telling me where she was going to be and what she was going to do, where she was going to go, that there was so much of a future and a hope for her. So out of that, though, the day I visited her, she showed me on this board. She said, "I want to show you." She was in a hospital. 12 things that I've written. We all wrote things that are our favorite things, and see, I wrote 12. And she said, because 12 is my favorite number. And I remember thinking that was kind of strange. So I mean, I just don't know anyone who has 12 as their favorite number. So I woke up the next morning and I heard, and I say heard like a strong thought out of nowhere, 12-step program. So I knew that this was what I was supposed to do, that I was supposed to sit down with everything that's in my Love Sees gift book about love and use it and incorporate it into 12 steps, because 12-step programs, and I was in one for many years, and I went twice a day, and I studied it in college, and so I know a lot about how they work and how they started. And so the beauty of them is that you all have something in common, that suddenly you're not isolated, suddenly you're not alone in whatever your deal is, like your eating disorder or your addiction or your anxiety or your depression. All of those things, even though other people around us are all feeling the same things, we isolate ourselves in it and we think we're all alone. So all of a sudden you go into this room and you've got all these people that have the same issues, the same feelings. I remember when the first 12-step program that I went into, I had had anxiety attacks for almost a year. And the first time I had one was in a hotel room by myself, and it freaked me out. I really thought I was going crazy. I had no idea what it was. And I had these people around me that had no idea either. I went back home, I'm like, what do you think that was? And they're like, I don't know. And I mean, I had an $80 phone bill. In those days, I had to call from the hotel, and my mother stayed on the phone with me all night. I don't even know what triggered it. So then my life was about, oh my God, I'm going to another hotel. What if I have an anxiety attack? And what if so it was all about like trying to figure out ways that I wouldn't have one. And my life was really controlled by that. So anyway, I walk into, finally years later, I go into this 12-step meeting, and all the meeting, they're all talking about anxiety attacks. And I'm like, oh my God, that's what I was having. And I realized that I wasn't alone, and it wasn't as scary, and it wasn't as weird. And I don't think I ever had one again. What I learned there was that it didn't that I was afraid of being afraid, and that that really it could do nothing to me. The worst that could happen is I would hyperventilate, pass out, and start breathing. So I had really taught myself not to be afraid of it. And as I wasn't afraid of it, I didn't have them anymore. So anyway, that was just for me. So, um, so I've got this book. It's got all this really good, juicy stuff in it. Now I've heard 12-step programs. So I sit down and I start writing 12 steps. I make the higher power perfect love because I know that we can relate to that. We can understand that love is there for us, that it's out there. It's around. We need to just recognize it when it comes to us, and it comes every day in different forms and different ways, and it's recognizing it. So the 12 steps are about learning to recognize perfect love for you in life, that we learn how to love ourselves. And, people go, oh, you got to love yourself. Well, everybody's saying that, but what does that mean? How do you do that? Just go, I love me? But it's not. It's really that love is an action. That's what Love Sees is about. And what my phrases are about is that love is an action. And the feeling follows the action. So if you want to love yourself, then you make good choices for yourself, and the feeling of love for yourself will come. So it's a beautiful formula, and it's there, and it's in the steps. Also, that as you accept yourself, one of my phrases from my book, and what I explain is love accepts. So as you accept yourself, you will be easy for you to change. So we always are saying, well, if I could only change this about me, and if I only wasn't like this, and if I only, then we think we'll be happy and we'll be okay. But love is about accepting yourself and others exactly the way you are right now today, not after you change, but right now as you are. And as you accept yourself, you will effortlessly change into what you aspire to be. So it's a real key, and that's one of our steps. Another step is forgiveness, forgiving yourself. And that can be done. Just like love is an action and the feeling follows, so is forgiveness. So you speak out that you forgive yourself. Now, I went through some really hard times where I was really being hurt by people, and I was really determined not to have unforgiveness and not to have bitterness because it was only going to show in my face, and I wanted my face to look good. I didn't want to look old and bitter and all that, and my body. And I knew that, holding on to unforgiveness and bitterness, and it turns into bitterness after a while, really takes a toll on you in every way. It actually is it's like wearing eyeglasses that have a film on them that actually show you everything different than it really is. It taints every single relationship that you have if you have unforgiveness. It doesn't make it the way it's supposed to be. You see everything differently, and not good, not in a good way. So, really important to forgive yourself and to forgive others. And I would say even more to forgive yourself. So the method is that you just speak it out. And there's something about the action of speaking it out that actually brings the feeling of forgiveness. And if you go on my, let's see, what Facebook page is that on? If you go on my Love Sees Facebook page and you see the comments that people put on my video, I had a video about Love Sees. You'll see one person that wrote about what happened when I saw that she had a burden, that something was going on with her, and I didn't know her very well. And I gave her a piece of jewelry, and it ended up that she had something really serious going on, and I ended up helping her and being with her in court. And the day she went on the stand, she said, "What do I do?" And I said, "You need to forgive before you get up on that stand." And so together we spoke it out. And when she got up on that stand, they asked her what she had done to do for any type of reconciliation or whatever, and she said, well, I have forgiven this person. And I remember seeing her say that, and it was so powerful. And she will say that I taught her to forgive. So that, and it's an easy, we think that we're taught that forgiveness is difficult, especially if it's a terrible thing. Well, that's hard, that you can go on for years, but forgiveness is a choice. It doesn't mean you have to have any relationship with the person you need to forgive, but you can forgive from a distance and you speak it out. And I'm not kidding, like when you start doing that, I'm always going, I forgive you, Nancy. And I'm always saying that to myself. And the forgiveness comes, and it comes 20 minutes later. I'm free from that because you know what unforgiveness feels like. You'll know when it's gone. So it's one of our steps. Our steps are about treating yourself like your own best friend, learning how to step outside of yourself and giving yourself the advice you would give a best friend. It's a great tool that we recognize when we take on shame and guilt, and we replace it with perfect love. So this is one of the later steps, but it's really about always taking inventory, seeing when you take on shame and guilt, because that's really the culprit. And I don't think there's a person I know living that doesn't somehow, they might hide it, but doesn't somehow have to deal with shame and guilt and unforgiveness and those things towards themselves. So it's really important that we recognize it, we replace it with love for ourselves, and we learn how to love ourselves. It's such an awesome program. I am so positive that it is just such an answer that we've been waiting for. And when I've been doing trunk shows in Bloomingdale's for Love Sees, and I give 10% to teen suicide prevention and awareness, it's been concluded by everyone I've talked to, principals, counselors, teachers, students, parents, that there isn't a program. I've got a program. This one came to me out of nowhere, and it is powerful, and it's meant to be. And we talk about your destiny and your purpose. Well, this is my destiny and my purpose. This is part of it, is for me to get this out to people. I've been shown the beauty of love and the power of love and the purpose of love in our lives. And now I have a way to show it to people where they can work it into their lives. They can work it into their lives. They can change their life, dramatically change your life by working these steps. So go to my website, www.livetolovetolive.org, and you can contact me, and you can start meetings, and I'll come and get them going. Once we get a lot of meetings going, we have some already starting up, one on the West Coast, one on the East. And as we get them going, there will be places for people to go. I'm going to be starting one in the town where I am, starting one in the teen center. I'm just going to open it up, and I'll guarantee you I'm going to have a ton of teens coming. It's my thing. Love them, they love me. So we're gonna really get it going. It's gonna really help a lot of people. And then as people get help, and teens in the high school, they're gonna go to college, and we're gonna get them started in colleges. And so this issue of so many people suffering, so many losing out on life, where many are committing suicide. It's the second, some say second leading cause of death for teens, some say the third. Some statistics say 1 out of 12 teens attempt suicide, 1 out of 6 seriously consider it. And I'm not surprised with that statistic, because of the amount of that I know that have attempted that nobody knows about. The parents know, people close to them know, but it's all kept so secret. So we have a really big problem, big issue. We've put a lot of pressure on our youth, and it's really difficult. This world is really difficult for them, and the only thing that we're showing them as success is this, sports and good grades and going to college and then get a job and all this, and we're not giving them this whimsical passion for life. And I mean, some of us are, but in most cases, basically what we're teaching them, and we're showing them, and they're having like, it's just there's so much pressure. So we have an answer. We have an answer. And I believe that as we get to the core of the anxiety, depression, and sadness, and guilt, and shame, then the other things, the choices that we're making that maybe aren't such good choices for us, the way that we're maybe self-medicating or doing whatever we're doing, we will, on our own, through meetings, through hearing what people say, we will make choices for ourselves that are going to be really good choices. We'll choose to have good people in our lives, and we'll make good choices about all kinds of things. So, eating disorders and self-harm and all of those things, those are all a result of and drug use, everything is all a result of how we really feel inside. So let's get to the inside. And I don't even care about all the other things. I know someone where nobody would help her because she was still smoking pot, and I'm like, help that girl, and who cares? Get to the core. Don't do that, because then she ended up not going anywhere for help. So because they were going after the wrong thing. They're trying to clean up the outside before they get to the inside of people. So let's get to the inside of people and help them to decide for themselves to make good choices for their lives. And it's not for us to decide what a good choice is for anyone. It's up to them. So this is Live to Love to Live. I'm excited about it. We have a new definition of love that we read before each meeting. It's really important that we change what our definition of love is, because we all have learned a love that has a consequence. So by the nicest parents, we're always given a consequence for things that we've done wrong. So now we're on our own and we make mistakes and we're doing things wrong. So we have to not have consequences. We have to know that love doesn't test us, doesn't punish us, is never angry with us, and continually forgives us. That's our love. And so we read this big, long, beautiful definition of love, and it's right here in our book that we give you when you come into the program, Our Definition of Love. All right, so we read this before every meeting. We read how it works before every meeting. We read the 12 steps, the 12 traditions, and it's really great. So go to my website. I'm going to say it again, www.live2love2live. There it is. Nice logo, right? live2love2live.org. And go to my Facebook page, Live to Love to Live. And we'll be all set. So I'm excited. And also go to my loveseas.com. All right, this is what you'll see. Loveseas.com. Okay, that's got my jewelry. This is one of my necklaces. Isn't that pretty? So it has the Love Seas logo. This one I think might be Love Laughs. I like that one. I was voted most humorous in high school. So I'm waiting till I'm funny again. But anyway, so I like Love Laughs. And these are my rings. My rings. Oh, I just gave you the finger. I'm sorry. But these are my rings. And so I have them stacked, and so they have the logo too, and then they've got the phrase on either side, but it's very small, so it's very personal to you what love means to you. Oop. So that's all exciting. So go to my loveseas.com too, and I've got a great video there. Go to my YouTube. I've got videos there. So there you go. So I think this is short enough that people will watch it. My friend told me that. She's like, you can't have these big long ones because people don't have the time. And so I tried to do a short one, get it all in a nutshell. Okay. All right. So I love you, and talk to you again. Bye.